cineinc.com।
नमस्कार, आदाब। मेरा नाम परवेज़ आलम है। बात सन 2007 की है। हिंदुस्तान के दो महान अजीम अदाकार नसीरुद्दीन शाह और ओमपुरी ब्रिटेन की राजधानी लंदन में फिल्म डायरेक्टर जगमोहन मुंद्रा की फिल्म शूट ऑन साइट की फिल्मिंग के लिए आए हुए थे। तो मैंने उन्हें अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इंडिया EU फिल्म इनिशिएटिव की जानिब से न्योता दिया कि साहब आइए, खूब गुजरेगी जो मिल बैठेंगे दीवाने दो। इंडियन हाई कमीशन के कल्चरल विंग नेहरू सेंटर की डायरेक्टर मोनिका कपिल मोहता ने सुना तो फौरन उन्होंने मेज़बानी की पेशकश कर दी और इस तरह हम दोनों ने मिलकर इन दो बेहतरीन फनकारों के सम्मान में, एजाज़ में एक शाम का आयोजन किया, एहतमाम किया गया। और आज तकरीबन 10 साल बाद यानी कि 2017 में जब मैं ये तारुफ रिकॉर्ड कर रहा हूँ तो बेख्तियार मरहूम ओमपुरी की याद आती है। बहुत कमाल का यार दोस्त इंसान था। लंदन 1 जुलाई सन 2007 की वो शाम क्या तारीखी और यादगारी शाम थी। ओमपुरी और नसीरुद्दीन शाह ने इस कदर मज़े की और ख़ासी कंट्रोवर्शियल, विवादास्पद, मुतनाज़ा बातें की कि ऑडियंस की हैरत की इंतहा न थी। बस एक ही बात का अफसोस है कि रिकॉर्डिंग कहीं कहीं बहुत ज़्यादा साफ़ नहीं है और जिसके लिए मैं आपसे अभी से माफ़ी मांग लेता हूँ। लेकिन इतना मैं आपको यकीन दिला सकता हूँ कि एक बार आपने ये प्रोग्राम सुनना शुरू कर दिया तो आप फिर आखिर तक एक एक लफ्ज सुनना चाहेंगे। तो पेश है एक शाम ओमपुरी और नसीरुद्दीन शाह के नाम।
Lord Meghnath Desai, Lady Kishwar Desai, Mrs. Babli Sharma, wife of the High Commissioner of India, distinguished guests, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to this evening's extraordinary event. Extraordinary because of many reasons. First, today, the 1st of July, we officially commence the celebrations at the Nehru Centre to mark 60 years of India's independence. The second reason why this evening is extraordinary is because of the two personalities we bring to you, Nasiruddin Shah and Ompuri, two great actors who symbolize excellence in Indian cinema. We are proud to honor the two living legends this evening at the Nehru Centre. We do this in collaboration with the India EU Film Initiative and Mr. Parvez Alam.
Thank you, Monica ji. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nasiruddin Shah and Ompuri. We'll be conducting this conversation in English and Hindi, Urdu and Punjabi as well. I have the honor of having these two brilliant actors with me, and I'll just go through a little bit from my script. Indian film director Shyam Benegal was interviewed by another director and actor Girish Karnad at the National Film Theatre here in London on the 18th of October 2002. And Girish Karnad, as we all of us know, was the director of the Nehru Centre as well. Benegal says, Girish was at the time the director of the Film Institute and he had a dreadful strike on his hands amongst the acting students. There was one particular bad egg called Nasiruddin Shah. This is Shyam Benegal demonstrating in front of your office, I think, and I was having problems casting one of the brothers in the film, the youngest brother. And I telephoned Girish to tell him I was looking for an actor to play this part. So he said the best person for this part would be this guy called Nasiruddin Shah.
Yeah, get him off my hands.
Absolutely. Who is here at the institute giving me a lot of trouble, and Nasiruddin came and was perfect for the part. Girish Karnad says the reason for the strike was so stupid and Nasiruddin was so passionate that I thought he couldn't possibly be worried about the cause. That can't be driving him. He must be a very good actor. To this,
I have something to say about that.
To this, Shyam Benegal says, and he turned out to be an excellent actor. And Girish had him out of his hair. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is the beginning of an era. Nasiruddin Shah, this is how he was roped in. That was his first film, wasn't it?
Yes.
Is that correct?
The cause was not at all stupid. The cause I still feel upset about, and I still feel angry that that what we were asking for was not granted to us, because that was our right as students. Now, to give you a brief history on this thing, and we'll get it over with very quickly. But since I feel so strongly about it, 32 years after it happened, I think there must be some substance in what I felt. There were these courses at the Film Institute, a direction course, a cinematography course, an editing course, sound recording course, and an editing course. Now, at the end of all our terms, the direction students made a 45-minute diploma film, which was their last work, everybody's last job in the institute. And everyone considered this to be the sort of portfolio that we can take with us to Bombay to show what we are capable of. The direction students directed those films, the cinematography students photographed those films, the sound students recorded those films, the editing students edited those films. And this was necessary. But it was not necessary that the acting students should act in those films. Should I ask for a show of hands over here? Maybe Girish's ghost is watching us from somewhere. But we felt this was wrong and this should not happen. Because there were many students, many acting students, and Om will testify to this, who went through 2 years of training without facing a camera. Yes, this is the truth, I'm not exaggerating. They were not chosen, they were the poorer students in the class, admittedly, but they were not chosen for any of the films. I know there were people in my class who never faced a camera in 2 years of a film acting course. Why? Because the direction students who made the decisions would cast who they liked.
From outside.
From outside, and in a lot of cases, it was their girlfriends. Or some person who they wanted to oblige, or some person who they were fascinated by. But they did not think the acting students worthy enough to be considered as material. My question was to Girish, which he never answered, is why doesn't, if tomorrow some direction student asks to make a film in 3-dimension and stereophonic sound, if a student wants a shot from a helicopter, will he get it? No, he won't. Why? Because the institute doesn't have this equipment. So, when you conceive your film, conceive it with the material you have. These are the actors you have. But it was not considered necessary. We were threatened with expulsion, even with arrest at one point.
Om ji ki taraf mein aata hu. You were together with Nasir Sahab at the National School of Drama. How come that you were junior to him at this Film and Television Institute in Pune? And you joined him later, and whatever he has said, I need some sort of evidence again, please, against Girish Kannad.
We were together in National School of Drama, yes, we were classmates. But immediately Nasir, as he passed out from National School of Drama, he joined Film Institute. And he came back in vacations and he stayed with me in Delhi. And he asked me, in fact he told me that, you should also join Film Institute. It will be useful. What are you going to do in Delhi, etc., which he was right. Because, theatre, as we all know, particularly Hindi theatre, there is no money. How do you survive? And this offbeat movement was coming up, etc. So hopefully we were thinking that we will get work in those films. And he inspired me to join and I followed him.
क्या बात है, वाह। मैं एक बात पूछूंगा आपसे यहाँ पे, इसलिए कि बहुत सारी सिमिलैरिटीज़ हैं आप लोगों में, लेकिन उसके बावजूद इतने सारे लोग यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं और उनको पता है कि वो सिमिलैरिटीज़ जहाँ जब स्क्रीन पे हैं तो कहीं नहीं है।
बचपन जो था वो थोड़ा अलग था क्योंकि ये अंग्रेजी स्कूल में पढ़े थे और मैं पंजाबी मीडियम में पढ़ा था। अभी जब हम अंग्रेजी बोल रहे होंगे तो अब सबको समझ में आ जाएगा।
क्या एक्टिंग सिखाई जा सकती है, और अगर सिखाई जा सकती है तो फिर उन लोगों का क्या जो पैदाइशी एक्टर हैं, वो कहाँ से सीख के आते हैं?
बचपन में हम हकीम के पास जाते थे, जुकाम हुआ, बुखार हुआ, खांसी हुई, तो उन्होंने तो MBBS नहीं किया था। और कोई भी क्राफ्ट हो, पुराने ज़माने में स्कूल्स नहीं थे, so you learnt it on the job or you learnt from your guru or seniors, etc. There were no institutions. And now since you have institutions, so you go to them. Another thing is that you have a certain amount of talent which is you're born with. To nourish that talent, to expand that talent, you need institutions. If I was not a trained actor, I would be totally dependent on Jagmohan Mundra.
Does that sound so awful?
He would tell me where to raise my hands, what pitch to use for my voice, and he will be guiding me at every step. So what training does is to be independent. It helps you to nourish your talent and to expand your talent.
नसीर साहब, आप इसमें कुछ ऐड करेंगे?
Yeah, I completely agree with what Om is saying, that एक अगर कोई एटमॉस्फेयर ऐसा मिले किसी भी बच्चे को जो सीखना चाहता है, which is conducive to learning, that is what the purpose of training is, a formal training. And this argument is not at all valid कि दिलीप कुमार या अमिताभ बच्चन किसी इंस्टीट्यूट में नहीं गए, क्योंकि those people trained themselves. It's as simple as that. The reason that they are good at their job is because they have worked at it. Quite simply, it's not a fluke. The flukes come and go. Right casting or an effective script or whatever may be the reason. But if you look at the people who have really lasted and who still are looked upon with regard, whether they are whoever they may be, whether theatre people or film people or singers. I mean, Lata Mangeshkar never went to a music school, did she? But it's not as if they haven't trained themselves.
Her father, Deenanath Mangeshkar, and others, of course, trained.
They've worked on themselves.
Like धर्म जी की एक एग्जांपल मुझे याद आई अभी कि there was a film called Satyakam. I think Hrishikesh Mukherjee directed and Dharam ji produced it.
Sharmila Tagore.
And that is supposed to be the best performance of Dharam ji. And Dharam ji was lucky enough to work with Bimal Roy and Hrishikesh Mukherjee and things. Now that kind of a performance he's not able to give in other films. That level of performance.
No, it's also what I'm learning as a teacher is that the whole business of studying, whether it is school, college, medical school, NDA, IIT, anything, the payoff happens years later. In all cases, I would say. It's futile to expect a student who does 3 years of training at the drama school to expect him to be fully qualified for his job. He's not. He's just beginning.
Right.
What he's learned here, what he's assimilated here, is going to pay off years and maybe decades later.
All of us would like to know a little bit about good acting and bad acting. Maybe some of us.
Good acting, bad acting.
What about you, Om sir? Is that correct? Good acting and bad acting? Sorry. Did you say?
Good acting, bad acting, good acting, bad acting. Both of us are guilty of both.
Okay. नहीं, इसमें एक छोटी सी बारीकी ये है कि बहुत सारे लोग, हम सबको वाकई बहुत बार तमीज़ नहीं होती कि एक्चुअली एक्टिंग में हम क्या देख रहे हैं. एक मैं इनसे नसीर साहब से बात कर रहा था सेट्स पे मुंद्रा साहब की फिल्म पे, और बड़ी प्यारी सी बात उन्होंने कही थी कि मैं चाहता हूँ कि थोड़ा सा बताएं हमारे यहाँ ऑडियंस को वो जो इकोनॉमी ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन, इकोनॉमी ऑफ जेस्चर्स, उसके बाद
सर अलकाजी साहब जहाँ जो हम उन्हें अपना गुरु मानते हैं, जिन्होंने हमें एक्टिंग की तालीम दी, तो वो अक्सर ये कहा करते थे, डोंट एवर गो आउट ऑफ कैरेक्टर, डोंट गेट कैरिड अवे. You're sitting with the audience, you're performing, and you can feel the pulse of the audience. Audience आपको लग रहा है आपके साथ है, तो अगर आप मूव कर रहे हैं उनको और your emotions etc, don't indulge in it. Don't indulge into those emotions. और अगर कॉमेडी कर रहे हैं, ऑडियंस आपके किसी जेस्चर पे हंसी, तो don't get carried away कि चलो और हंसाते हैं इनको, थोड़ा कुछ और करते हैं. Don't be affected by them. Always stay in character. That was a great lesson.
There is truth and falsehood. I don't believe in terms like overacting and underacting and subtlety and melodrama and melodramatic acting, and all these kind of terms are misnomers. There is truth and there is falsehood in acting, and it is easily discernible if you're paying attention and not getting carried away by the persona of the actors or the strength of the script or whatever. If one is to judge even stylized acting, I'd go so far as to say that even in forms like the Kathakali or the Kabuki, highly stylized though they are, unless there is truth in the actor's behavior, which I guess translates into conviction in what he's doing. And that's the same as how Om defined it, as staying in the character. Because it may sound very simple to stay in the character, but it isn't. And I think that no matter how broad certain forms like the Parsi theatre or the Marathi tamasha or the Gujarati bhavai or any folk form like the Nautanki or anything, the Bhand, etc. may be, the origins of that behavior are in truth. And that to me is the difference between good and bad acting. And there's another difference which I think I've become aware of a bit later in life, and that is what the actor's function. And my belief about that has altered over the years. Like anyone else, it began with the belief that I'm an actor because I need to show the world how good I am and so on. And that is why generally people who've been insecure children end up becoming actors. People who are not great entertainers in life end up becoming actors because they find refuge in being other people. I guess perhaps because they're dissatisfied with who they are. I know that was the case with me, for sure. And I have absolutely no compunctions about confessing it. I was an unhappy child and I hated being a child. I couldn't wait to grow up and be other people. And even as a child, from the time I was maybe 10 years old, the only comfort that I had, which was a comfort from the wallopings we got from the teachers in school those days, was being other people. And I haven't ever talked about this with Om, but I'm certain that he has been through a similar, if not identical, experience. But it always begins with an urge to show off, to be accepted.
How was your childhood, Om sir?
Well, slightly perhaps different is that I was very shy and very withdrawn. I was good in studies, unlike him.
That was different.
So when I started doing plays, I was working with a couple who was from National School of Drama.
Okay.
So they picked me up from my youth festival in college. They said, come and join our group. So I joined.
What college are we talking about? Ambala? Sir?
Khalsa College, Patiala.
Khalsa College, Patiala mein.
Patiala. So when I started working with them, my first play with them was Father, Strindberg's Father, in Hindi. And then we did other plays, Punjabi and Hindi plays. And the plays they were doing were socially committed, with social relevance, etc. And I thought that the feelings which I had inside me, those plays were giving voice to it. Since I didn't have a voice of my own. So they were giving voice to my feelings. And of course the audience response. So that became a kind of addiction. So that's how one was hooked on, though I wanted to join the army actually when I was growing up. This is how I came in.
I don't think there's that much difference, except for the fact that he was good in school and I wasn't. I still have a report card of class 9 stating that I came 50th in a class of 50. I have preserved it. And that I have failed the examination. But I don't think it's any different. Om is putting it into different words, but I think we've been through the same thing.
Naseer sir, you said somewhere, I remember reading an interview with you, you said that actors are actually liars. They're very good at telling lies. Is that correct?
A guy a person who's been a convincing liar as a child will be a good actor. Who can convince his dad that he wasn't smoking. No, he was reading his physics practicals instead of Playboy.
तो हमारी फिल्म इंडस्ट्री है इस वक्त ऐसा मतलब एक हंगामा है कि हम लोग we have arrived, you know, with this 8%, मुझे हिंदी बोलना चाहिए, 8% से ज़्यादा हमारा इकोनॉमिक रेट है पिछले साल, इस बार 9% से ज़्यादा इंडिया में इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ है. तो ये है कि इंडियन फिल्म इंडस्ट्री भी आ गई, छा गई, किस्सा खत्म हो गया. क्या किस्सा खत्म हो गया? क्या वाकई हम लोगों ने मतलब कहना चाहिए कि लंदन पे, न्यूयॉर्क पे, ब्रॉडवे पे कब्जा कर लिया?
हम पहुंच तो गए हैं, स्टेशन पर उतर तो गए हैं. बड़े शहर पे जब पहुंचते हैं तो सबसे पहले तो सामान चोरी होता है.
उसके बाद जेब कटती है। उसके बाद जो आपको चाय पीनी पड़ती है, उसके आपकी मतलब जमीन खिसक जाती है पैरों से, when you find out how much it costs। फिर आपको रहने की जगह ढूंढनी पड़ती है, हाँ। और फिर काम ढूंढना पड़ता है।
On a serious note, are we really seeing a kind of, a dawn in the Indian film industry? I mean, something, do you see really happening in the next 5 years?
नहीं, ये बहुत अच्छा बोला इन्होंने। देखिए, हमारी ऑडियंस तो हिंदी फिल्म के लिए हमेशा से थी अब्रॉड, तो उसमें कोई इजाफा नहीं हुआ है, बल्कि अभी कम फिल्में हैं जो हिट होती हैं। अगर हम 15 साल पहले की फिल्में देखें तो ज्यादा फिल्में देखी जाती थी। मतलब मैं मानूंगा कि भाई दे हैव अराइव्ड अब्रॉड जब वो अंग्रेजों को अपने थिएटर में बुलाएंगे तब।
Absolutely।
जब अंग्रेज लोग आके टिकट खरीद के फिल्म देखेंगे हमारी, तब हम कहेंगे we have arrived।
When we can prove that these films have the substance।
Okay.
Yeah.
And you also
So
have
far-
a definition for crossover cinema, because somebody asked
Crossover.
they say it's very
There are at
difficult.
least 6 different names I've been through for it.
Yeah.
Experimental cinema, art cinema,
Offbeat cinema.
alternative cinema, offbeat cinema, parallel cinema, and then it became crossover cinema.
Crossover cinema.
Now there's multiplex cinema. Soon there'll be another term. It's the press which keeps inventing these terms. It's good for them.
But even
एक
then,
नो बजट सिनेमा भी है।
No budget cinema.
no budget या low budget?
नो बजट। मतलब एक साहब हमारे पास आए थे जब हम लो बजट फिल्में करते थे, तो उन्होंने कहा कि मेरी फिल्म जो है ये लो बजट भी नहीं है, इट इज नो बजट फिल्म।
फिर भी मुझे याद है कि आपने नसीर साहब कहीं क्रॉसओवर सिनेमा कह लें या जो वो सिनेमा जो देसी सिनेमा है, हिंदुस्तान की सरहदों से बाहर निकल के दुनिया भर में अपना कहीं मकाम बना रहा है, गोरे भी देख रहे हैं, काले भी देख रहे हैं, वो किस तरह का सिनेमा है, कैसा सिनेमा होना चाहिए? मतलब उसको आप कब मानेंगे कि वो वाकई क्रॉसओवर कामयाब सिनेमा?
क्रॉसओवर और कामयाब एक जैसे शब्द नहीं है मेरे डिक्शनरी में। क्रॉसओवर is a word invented by the press which I don't understand the meaning of. Serious cinema has a responsibility, and that is to truthfully reflect its times.
Any regrets for not doing certain films?
No.
Not working with certain directors? Not
Well,
doing
that I
certain
couldn't
roles?
work with Mr. Ray is a great regret. He never called me to work for him. Om Puri managed
You did?
to.
In
Yes.
Sadgati?
Yes, I hate him for it.
I'll ask you about it.
But he never cast me. I guess I can understand why. When he made an Urdu film, I was perhaps too young to play any of the characters. And then he wanted, I guess the Bengali ethos was very strong in his head. And I suspect he wanted the kind of faces which could bring that kind of world alive.
Om Sab, how was your experience working with Satyajit Ray?
Now we had certain notions about Satyajit Ray. One was that you cannot even change a comma in his script. He's so methodical, which he was. When we reached the station, he came personally, Raipur railway station. Me and Mohan Agashe were traveling. And the station came, I peeped out. तो सब जितने लोग थे प्लेटफॉर्म पे, सबके ऊपर एक गर्दन थी। Because Satyajit Ray himself had come to pick us up. हमने कहा अरे बड़े मियाँ खुदा हैं। तो anyway we went, we सलाम किया उनको और गाड़ी में आए। तो हमने कहा बैठिए दादा, बोले नहीं, I always sit in front, you people sit at the back, long legs. So first we reached the hotel and he said, you guys have a cup of tea or whatever, I'll see you in about half an hour's time. Fine. He came to our room and he looked at me, brought his notepad, sketched, made a moustache. Said, okay, we'll give you a moustache. First day of shooting, 7 o'clock leaving. We go down, Mohan Agashe and me, about 10 minutes late. So Satyajit Ray sitting in the lobby. We came down, he looked at his watch and we immediately said, sir, wo नाश्ता थोड़ा late आया था. I suggest you order your breakfast little early from tomorrow. And he walked off. And we followed him. Next day we were 10 minutes early. Now he is walking down from the same staircase. And halfway he stopped and looked at his watch. And then he was relaxed. He said, these idiots have come early, so why should I be worrying about it? First day of the shoot, in the first shot, he says, Om, you walk in from that door gingerly. Now, I didn't know the meaning of gingerly. But right from Alkazi, because I was first 6 months in National School of Drama, I wanted to run away because it was all English medium and पूरी class में अंग्रेजी बोलते थे. So Alkazi sensed that and he called me and he said, listen, it's just a language, so don't worry about it. You're good in other things. You're good in acting, you're good in improvisation, you're good in yoga, you're good in speech, etc. So don't worry, it's just a language. You will pick it up. Start reading newspaper loudly, and don't be hesitant. Ask frankly if you don't understand anything. So I used that trick. I said, Dada, I don't know the meaning of gingerly. So instead of giving you the meaning, this is where you see the quality of director. They give you example from life, as if. There is a term in acting called as if. So instead of telling me the meaning of gingerly, he said, sometime a dog wants to come into the house and the dog is hesitant whether to go in or not. So that's what gingerly is. Now he gave me the tip which was behavior, So you are actually copying a dog. Yeah, true. So, and there were examples many examples like that. And as far as his script was concerned, he had absolutely worked out everything. On one instance, Smita Patil had to be she had to leave that evening. She was going to New York. From Raipur, she was driving down to Nagpur, then take a flight and go to Bombay, etc. In the afternoon, after lunch, suddenly there were clouds, not expected. And I remember Satyajit looking out and looking at the sky, and then he went berserk. He said, get me the trolley, maximum trolley. So he put about 100 feet trolley, and he threw away his short divisions and shot the entire scene in one shot. My body lying there and Smita Patil coming and howling, etc. Entire scene was done in one shot in rain. Why he did that, I later understood that if he had carried on with the short division, halfway the rain will stop. What will he do with the other half? In the village, where will he get artificial rain from? And sure enough, he did 3 takes and the rain stopped. And my close-ups were done with somebody pouring a little water on the branches. That's how my close-ups were done. And then we needed a scene before that to establish that there is going to be a rain. What do you call this? Bijli kadakti hai jo?
Lightning.
Lightning. तो lightning के लिए उन्होंने गांव में अब क्या करें? So they took, जिसमें गाय भैंस को चारा डालते हैं, वो एक भगोना सा होता है और उसमें शीशा तोड़ के ग्लू से वो शीशा चिपका दिया और गांव से वेल्डिंग मशीन लाए, वो वेल्डिंग मशीन से लाइटनिंग इफेक्ट दिया गया. Instantly, and he would listen to you, sort of, if you have any suggestion, yes. I mean, the last shot was that Brahman drags my body. So he had to put a rope in my feet and drag my body out of the village. So, which was difficult to do. How will he put the rope? So I just suggested, I said, Dada, why doesn't he use a little twig? Because he's not supposed to touch me. So he can use some lakdi to raise my leg and put that rope in. He said, that's a good idea. So we did that. So he was not, kind of, कि भाई वो कुछ comma भी नहीं change कर.
It's interesting, I was just noting that you acted in Gandhi. And you acted with Satyajit Ray. These are 2 of his regrets. It's interesting.
He's done a lot of things I haven't done.
You must be a very happy man. Any regrets?
And he's done a lot of things which I haven't done.
For example,
for example, Par. For example, Manthan. For example, Sparsh.
क्या बात है वाह.
I was
Yeah.
So what about Tamas and Akrosh and Ardh Satya and Mike Nichols?
फिल्मी दुनिया के 2 महान अदाकार नसीरुद्दीन शाह और ओमपुरी के साथ नेहरू सेंटर, ऑडले स्ट्रीट, लंदन में सन 2007 की एक वो यादगारी शाम। अभी आपने इन दो अजीम एक्टर्स के साथ मेरी बातचीत का पहला हिस्सा सुना। दूसरे हिस्से में तो गुफ्तगू बेहद दिलचस्प हो गई है। मैंने लफ्ज़ बॉलीवुड कह दिया और नसीर साहब बिगड़ गए, कहने लगे बॉलीवुड इज़ ए डेरोगेटरी टर्म। मेरा उनसे सवाल था कि आज जबकि सारी दुनिया इंडियन फिल्म इंडस्ट्री को बॉलीवुड कहती है तो वो क्यों नहीं इस लफ्ज़ को कबूल कर लेते हैं। अरे साहब, शाह साहब एकदम बरहम हो गए। क्या कहा उन्होंने? इस प्रोग्राम का दूसरा हिस्सा ज़रूर सुनिएगा। परवेज़ आलम को इजाज़त दीजिए। खुदा हाफिज़। cineinc.com